86. One of these days we'll finish that fight. One of these days. How strong are these defenders? Yeah, they've still got a fair amount of organization. They're not going to be replenishing any, so I'm fairly happy to sit back and let them attack me. Now, what's Germany lost? 10 million yet? 9.6 million. I've lost 1.6. 6.2 million of those casualties have been inflicted by the Dutch. And Germany in return has done 1.1 million. So, we've, like, despite that ruinous fight, we've maintained our 6-to-1 kill-death ratio. Against the Germans, anyway. How are we doing against the Italians? Kingdom of Italy has killed 202 of 1,000 of mine. And we've done 200 against them, so it's a 1-for-1. Yeah, Italy did well. 87. We're getting there. Good grief, it's slow. I mean, over time we're going to be doing more and more damage to this location, so it should get less defenses. But bloody hell. They have actually taken a naval base here. Well, once we're done with this, we can go and deal with them. I don't think they're going to really have the opportunity to expand outwards at all. Alright, let's go and close this. And also, I want all of the close air support. Something I should have done earlier. There we go, now we've got aeroplanes supporting this attack. They start filtering in, damage starts being done. We should begin to make a bit more progress. Am I sure that Belgium will fall this decade, now that the Koninklijke Luchtmaatschappij has arrived? Yes. There we go, now we're making progress. Shows you how good close air support is. Although only 225 are actually participating in this battle, despite the fact that there are almost 3,000 close air support in this area. Maximum amount of planes that can help are 414. The larger the combat width, the more planes it can fit. I see. 94. Gotta give them credit, they held out for a long time. Yeah, they really did. Like, credit entirely due and given. They did good. They did good. 95. Their units are starting to die now. The Ukrainians are gone. This is just the Belgians. The Wallonians are the last ones standing. My Cass have done 100 strength damage now. I don't know how much strength a regular division has. 100? How big are the air wings? If the air wings are too big, then you might not be able to fill out the combat width of the cast. That doesn't matter anymore, I don't think. At least it's extremely difficult to find good, evidence-based information on how exactly air forces work. And believe me, I've looked. Done. Oh, Belgium's finally been defeated. Good grief, that was a slog. Alright, let's go and beat up this naval invasion. Silly Russia thinking they can naval invade the Dutch! Oh, and we beat that as well. Excellent. Wallonia has capitulated. Wilhelmina has announced that the cowardly Walloon nation could no longer withstand the pressure from the overwhelming presence of Dutch forces throughout the country. The Walloon government chose to flee the country and has gone into exile. Now hopefully we can let the industries catch up and actually produce some of the materials that we need. For the continued execution of this war. We're a little bit over in steel, but I'm going to allow it. Alright, so what are we shortest in? I'm going to guess guns. Yep, guns. Okay. Let's go and produce some more. Although we're actually going to need less than you may expect. And now we're going to take the 1, 2 of you and assign you to the greens. Yellows. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the greens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the yellows. That should be a relatively even divide of all of that stuff. England's been invaded? Oh, don't do that to me. No, it hasn't. Because I had to shift all of my Dutch defenders away to go and defend the Netherlands against the perfidious Germans. And also to hold on to the territories I've been taking off of the perfidious Germans. Speaking of which, I should probably have you encroaching a little bit further to go and hold on to the Wallonian territories we just secured. Now, saying you need 48,000. I want many artillery, so we're going to need to be producing a lot more of those. Also, I do believe that the cohorn units can now have another mechanized. Before too long, we'll need to start producing motorized too. Better fuel refining, which also means that I can reduce the amount of fuel that we're importing, which is all adding up to the fact that I'm getting factories available to use, which is lovely. Ah, and my recons are all fully replenished, which means that I can start replenishing these guys. Awesome. One month until they're ready. We have plenty of convoys. Okay, this is where the steel is about to disappear again. Watch, I can do a magic trick. I can make all the steel just disappear. But once we had it, suddenly we don't. Boom. 164 in deficit. And that's not even the worst of it yet. Yeah, we have 300 spare. 206 short. Wondrous. And this is a rather lovely looking Netherlands now, I have to say. I'm appreciating this. Has the US even started to consider which way they want to go? Country life moment. That's a no. Wait, they elected the Farmer Labour and now they're in the Progressives? Are they just going, elect you, do all your stuff, elect you, do all your stuff, elect you, do all your stuff, elect you, do all your stuff? Because that's what it's looking like. It's like 2 fast battleships. Well done, Helfrich. Again. Okay, that's all of the encryption done. We could get better radar, but I don't think we necessarily need it. Let's go ahead and upgrade. Oh, do we need that? Doctrine we've finished off. I'm not going to bother with those. Tanks are irrelevant. Recon would allow attacking to be more strong. Or actually, am I even using recons in my division? No. Irrelevant. I realise I probably am behind with guns. I am behind with guns! What a surprise. Let's do guns instead.
Aantreden! Gereed, commandant! Opdrachten! Bevelen!
Completely unnecessary, but amusing.
Gereed!
So now I think I just want to wait for a bit so that we can get some equipment back. We should be able to overcome these deficits pretty quickly. The other thing I would like to start doing is replacing infantry with artillery. Good enough. For even more manpower damage.
Commandant!
And more equipment damage too. We've got the really high tier anti-tank for dealing with tanks. We've got absolute air superiority pretty much everywhere, thanks to the might of the Koninklijke Luchtmaatschappij. And then the artillery can just obliterate. We will bury them. Meanwhile, the East Indies are just chilling, sending me all of their juicy resources. Thank you. Alright, fast battleships are almost ready. 6 more days. So am I actually selling any stuff now? Not really. With the exception of steel. Yes, I am now selling steel. Although I still have almost 500 left for export. Naval invasion's almost ready. I mean, the other thing I could do is try to take Italy out so that we can open up another front against the Austrians. Rather than going straight for Germany. Because the way I can do that is I can have the yellows attacking here, have the blues smash open Rome, and then have the greens flooding into where the blues have made space. I think I'm going to continue getting a few more convoys. Tier 3 artillery. Yeah, let's change out the artillery template so we can get the new ones. And there we go. What? Why am I paying for this? Or are you just saying that they want to do that, in which case fair enough. It's nice to actually have a couple of civilian factories building factories for a change. That is true, we are fighting two different factions. And if we take out Austria, they're the only major power. Actually, Germany's already half dead, Austria's not even touched. Nope, let's go for Germany in that case. So let's have the yellows change your objective to. Denmark in their faction? Nope, Denmark left. Right.
Gereed om uit te rukken.
Do that. Although I will then need to contend with their main fleet. Although, that being said, my main fleet is ready as well. Well, most of them. But are you... You're just a regular old deroter. Fair enough. Let's make sure you get priority. Of August. 8 months. But this does mean that we can get the recon doing some actual recon and the war fleet doing some actual war fleet. And now I really want to have a look at these battlefield ships because they should be quite fearsome in how much damage they do. 85.6 heavy attack, 53 heavy pierce, 552 hit points, 32 knots per nautical miles. 48 armor, 16 anti-air. Yeah, they should do. With a destroyer escort. And there's a good practice. Actually, We lost a couple of destroyers here. 2 destroyers lost, 1 destroyer sunk. We should keep an eye on you, send any ships back which require repairs, which apparently you two do. Wow, that was not very good opening, was it? I expect better. Like, sod it, we have enough destroyers that we can just repair everything. And speaking of repairs, let's bump you up to 30. Hunter killer groups, so we have 1 more technology to finish off that doctrine. Floating fortress. Capital ship armor plus 10%. Don't mind if I do. Oh, was it Helfrich again? Move him. Venezuela's capitulated. That's not good, because you know who's in Venezuela. Brazil. The nation we just cannot deal with. It's impossible. That's the Swedish capital fleet in full retreat. But they have done a bit of damage and we have no screens. There are German submarines here, which is more than a little bit scary. Time for us to depart. Don't want to risk losing my battleship against these bloody subs. Also, that's an awful lot of French convoys we're protecting right now. Well, that's my entire battle fleet out. Well, I hope you enjoyed your time at sea, because we're done here. It's just the beginning of the hit and run. Go and repair. Sank a German dreadnought. That's Helfrich doing his magic again. So the French lost 10 convoys, the Germans lost 2 submarines, the Swedes lost a cruiser and a destroyer. Not the best result ever. Hey, Laser Gecko. Have the oceans been painted red yet? Not orange yet, not yet. A nautical mile is 1 minute of arc on the Earth's surface, which works out as 1,852 meters. Interesting. Okay. You ready? You ready? You ready? We could do with a bit more. And actually, I think that we have enough mechanized for another cohorn. And eventually we'll be adding motorized artillery to these units. We just haven't got to that stage yet. Although I should probably start actually, you know, building motorized. Let's cancel them and build you up. We're going to need a lot of militia to fortify what we take from Germany. Because apparently the Russians are going to keep on trying to do naval invasions with an alarming amount of success. Mikhail Drovosky looking suspiciously like Wrangel. Minus Wrangel. More motorized? I don't think we need that many. We'll keep working on the mechanized, because I do eventually want both armies to be fully mechanized. Hope they're going to attack us. Fantastic. That means we can do this as a counter-attack. Even better. Really?
Attentie.
Damn it, Russia.
Gereed, commandant. Attentie. Opdrachten.
That's a lot of capital ships. You guys repaired? No. Right, because you were... Man, I got lucky. You were kicked out of the port where you were repairing. Yeah, of all of the nations I would expect to be naval invading, Russia is not one.
Opdrachten.
And so it begins. Operation Let's Finally Knock Germany Out of This War.
Uitdrukken.
Thankfully the Marines can be given other orders while waiting for that to happen. Also, this is the High Seas Fleet and it's not looking too hot. Elfric is currently on the run, but we've almost sunk one fast battleship here. And they do have a little bit of a gap in their screen, though admittedly not a great one. No organization. I wonder if they're out of fuel. And there we are. Victory is ours. The Russians have been defeated. All is well with the world once more. Yeah, St. Petersburg is a port. Although Finland has that. They have one port, one tiny little port in Luga. That's it. All of the... Oh no, they have one in the Black Sea as well. I think attacking from the Black Sea would be even more impressive. Rostov. Okay, so the Italians are counter-attacking into here, but there's a lot of troops, especially the Portuguese. Interesting. Have they finished in Spain yet? No. Come on, Portugal. My invasion of Magdeburg is going quite well. And in fact, because we have so much momentum, I think I'm just going to continue pushing straight across the river. Didn't you once upon a time have more than 30 divisions?